And KVGC News Time's now 7 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. Time for a look at the news for a Monday. It's the 8th day of October for 2018. Emergency crews rolled to a reported vehicle versus tree accident late Saturday afternoon. Just after 4, crews were dispatched to the report of a tree falling on a vehicle along Old Sacramento Road just west of Plymouth. Upon the arrival, first responders discovered that a large oak branch had fallen across the road and a vehicle had collided with it. Luckily, the driver only suffered minor injuries. It's believed that the tree, already stressed from another dry summer, combined with this weekend's high winds, caused the branch to fall. And earlier that same afternoon, around 1 o'clock, emergency crews rolled to a vehicle accident on Highway 88 at Privatelli Road, east of Jackson. While complete details have not yet been released by the CHP, the accident did involve 2 vehicles and a motorcycle. One vehicle overturned on its roof. Another suffered serious front-end damage. The motorcycle went over the embankment. While injuries were reported at the scene, it's unclear as to how serious they were. The accident did tie up traffic along Highway 88 for over 2 hours. More details are expected to be released later this week.
Well, the use of a chainsaw without clearance, fire tools, and water nearby, the cause of a 2-acre fire in Calaveras County this past weekend. According to the Tuolumne Calaveras Cal Fire Unit, the vegetation fire burned near Bonanza Mine Road and Highway 4 in Copperopolis. Fire units able to quickly bring the fire under containment. But officials say this weekend's with the high winds, they were fortunate. The nearby property owners did a great job keeping the grass down, creating a defensible space, enabling firefighters to handle the fire. Again, the warning goes out from CAL FIRE. Please be careful. Don't be complacent. And as Bryce always tells us, use the right tool for the job.
And Calaveras County's tree mortality program has hit a snag. County officials report that 3 tree removal projects have been completed, but they've hit a roadblock. Although a first round of letters with right of entry forms already went out to property owners in West Point, Wilseyville, Railroad Flat, Glencoe, Avery, and Murphys, few have been returned. To try to get the program back on track, a second letter has been mailed targeting property owners who did not respond to the first mailing, along with paper doorknob hangers reminding residents to return the form. The problem, according to county officials, is that without the signed consent, hazardous trees cannot be cut down. The right of entry gives foresters permission to go onto properties to identify and mark hazardous trees. Remember now, you're warned if a hazard tree on your property falls onto a county road and causes damage to the road or injures someone traveling on the road, you as the property owner could be held liable.
Well, fire restrictions on the El Dorado National Forest still in effect, despite the light rain that occurred last week. Another warm, dry trend expected. Fire danger still a major concern. Current fire restrictions include a ban on recreational target shooting, which is being extended for another 30 days, or until conditions change. Complete details regarding target shooting restrictions and the 2018 fire restrictions, including the list of exempt designated recreation sites, available online at the National Forest website. Now, motor vehicles are allowed only on designated National Forest System roads, routes, trails, and areas as identified on the El Dorado National Forest Motor Vehicle Use Map, available at no cost at any El Dorado National Forest office. Now, questions about fire restrictions, designated recreation sites, motor vehicle use, and firewood cutting on the El Dorado National Forest may all be directed to the Amador Ranger District at 295-4251.
And Amador County Elections Officer Kim Grady invites you to see what happens during Election Day and before and after, actually. Anyone and everyone is entitled to observe the workings of the polling places before, during, and after the time the polls are open. Observers are also welcome to see what happens in the county elections office before, during, and after every election day. There are, however, some rules and laws that surround what goes on, and I'd like to invite you to a short training on November 1st, 2 o'clock in the supervisor's chambers. Now, this training will explain to you just what to expect, some of the laws and rules for both observers and poll workers. you'll understand what the elections process is all about and is not about. In addition, of course, they'll answer any questions you may have. So if you're interested in receiving the Elections Observers Training and becoming an observer, either before, during, or after Elections Day, contact the Elections Department, 223-6465. You must RSVP, 223-6465. The Elections Training, again, will take place at 2 o'clock on the 1st. That's a Thursday, November 1st, at 810 Court Street in the Supervisor's Chambers in Jackson.
Well, over a 3-day period last week, Calavera Sheriff Marijuana Enforcement Team raided 4 illegal grows, uncovering marijuana with a street value of more than $8 million, as well as 4 firearms. Now, the searches were carried out in San Andreas, Copperopolis, and Angels Camp, and resulted in 5 people taken into custody. Now, the first raid on a property off Toll Bridge Road in San Andreas uncovered over 15 pounds of processed marijuana and 459 marijuana plants, more than 8 grams of psychedelic mushrooms, several dosages of LSD. A 34-year-old Michael Ken Tanone of Valley Springs was arrested for marijuana cultivation, maintaining any place for the purpose of unlawfully selling, giving away, or using a controlled substance, possession of marijuana for sale, and possession of a controlled substance. Now, there was also primitive wiring running from the buildings to generators, which one of was leaking oil above a drainage leading to Hogan Reservoir. Now, 2 more raids were carried out at 2 separate locations in Copperopolis. One in the 5,000 block of Hub Court turned up 1,089 marijuana plants, as well as 33 pounds of processed marijuana. Now, although 6 people were found in the residence, only 1 was cited for illegal marijuana cultivation and possession of a controlled substance. Now, the second location in the 5400 block of Chuckwagon Drive, where investigators found 2,068 marijuana plants, 81 pounds of processed marijuana, and 3.8 ounces of concentrated cannabis. They also seized 4 guns. Now, 41-year-old Robert Murray was arrested for marijuana cultivation, being a convicted felon in possession of a firearm and a convicted felon in possession of ammunition. Now, during the final raid on the 4400 block of Appaloosa Road in rural Angels Camp, the team discovered 102 large marijuana plants, 179 pounds of processed marijuana. 3 people were arrested, but their identity still being confirmed, according to the Sheriff Department.
And on October 13th, Demonstration Day will take place at Sutter Creek's historic Night Foundry. The Demonstration Day runs from 10 to 2 in Sutter Creek. Visitors will be able to watch experts do the kind of work that was done at the foundry while it operated from 1873 through 1996, including for the first time in more than 20 years, pouring hot metal. Tours will be self-guided. Admission, $10 for adults, 18 and older, $5 for students, 5 to 17, and free for kids under the age of 5. Now, no reservations are necessary, and Night Foundry souvenirs, including patterns, will also be for sale. For more info, visit the Night Foundry website.
And the Amador County Peace Officers Association Annual Awards Dinner coming up October 27th in celebration of Sutter Creek Police Officer Robert Harmon, the 2018 Peace Officer of the Year, and KMW Family Healing Center Executive Director Linda Smollenberger, the 2018 Citizen of the Year. Now, the event will be at the American Legion Hall on Sutter Hill. No-host cocktails at 6, dinner at 7. Tickets are only $30 each, $30 that is, will be available at the Amador County Sheriff Office and the County Probation and DA's office.
And that's a look at local news on this Gold Country Monday. It is Columbus Day. Today is a federal holiday, which means most banking institutions will be closed today. There is no postal service, and we remind you that it is also a holiday for Amador County. So Amador County employees will have the day off today. As far as cities go, each city in Amador and Calaveras County chooses their own holiday schedule for a day like today. There is school in Amador County, no school in Calaveras County because of the fall break, as JD told us. Most businesses will be open today, but the word is call ahead to make sure if the business you plan to go to. Now, the stock market is open today, but the bond market is closed. And that's a look at local news on this Gold Country Monday. Remember, for the latest news, traffic, and weather 24 hours a day, be sure to visit our website, kvgcradio.com. From the KVGC News Center,
I'm JD.
And I'm Jim Geedy reporting.